All right then, we are back after a while. I apologize for the delays getting back. I know it's been a week, but yeah, we are back. It's been a bit of a chaotic week. That's the best I can offer. So we'll just have to go with it. But I have promised a while ago that we would start playing with the bone block. That is planned for next week. But in the interim, we are going to play with some ammonites from Oscar as well, which is where the bone block came from. So for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, promised to have a look at prepping this thing, which has a little bit of bone sticking out on that side, a little bit of bone sticking out on that side, bit of bone there, bit of bone there. So we'll have a look at that next week. I'm not super confident about it, but we'll have a go slowly and steadily and see what we can do with it. But in the meantime, I've got loads and loads of ammonites from the same location, Hosker or High Hosker or Hosker Bottoms, all the same sort of place. Because if you've been to Hosker, the lane is called Bottoms Lane, and that's Hosker Bottoms. But yeah, it's between Robinets Bay and Port, sorry, between Providence Bay and Saltwick, and so yeah. And sorry, which one looks interesting, Trevor? That's the bone block that you have told me to prep. If you're looking at that, that's the one you wanted me to see. So this one, so yeah, this is the one you have asked if I would be willing to do, and I will give it a go, or start giving it a go next week. It is giving, that bit in particular is giving very jaw vibes, but we'll have to just see. Because I don't want to mess up anything if there's any teeth in it, because I don't have any teethy bits from here. So it would be nice to have a nice bit of rostrum or skull or jaw, but yeah, we'll see when we start prepping it. If teeth start showing up, I will be stopping very quickly and passing it to someone far more competent than I. But in the meantime, you'll have to just endure me playing with another ammonite. So probably Dak or Paranoceros today, at least to start with. Yeah, it does look very rostery. Yeah, it's the game that we always play, as I'm sure you are aware. If you've got a level of symmetry down something, there's a good chance it comes from the midline of the body, whether that be skull or spine. Obviously, it doesn't look like spine with that, so the paired structure does look an awful lot like a snout. But yeah, we'll see, just because it's odd that there's then random scatterings of bone that don't look like they belong necessarily to it. That yeah, we'll have to see. We'll see how it gets on. Yeah, as I said, if we start seeing anything that resembles a tooth in there, we'll be stopping very quickly. Because I do not have the tools to play with it. But yeah, so today is just going to be playing with some ammonites, getting myself back into it after a week off, and then pretty much a week off before that. So it's yeah, not done a lot of prep, and so I'm feeling a bit rough and not quite into the vibes. That's the goal today, is get back into it and enjoy myself a little bit, hopefully, and see how many ammonites we can prep that, again, hopefully have some middles. Yeah, I appreciate the offer, Trevor. As I said, we'll see how we get on with it. If it starts turning very interesting, yeah, it may well come your way. We'll just have to see. The other option is I might sit and do it with acid, but we'll have to see. I'm just not sure, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what it looks like before I start making decisions about it, because obviously we don't know until we start going. But I do appreciate the offer. Oh, hey, Shirley, good to see you as well. I think we might end up stopping this one really rapidly. It doesn't look like it's going to be particularly well preserved, as a big chunk of shells just exploded off. And so we've got calcite inner chambers already exposing. I'll just have a quick pop and just see if it's just a one-off position or if that's like a little further along. But if that's like that any further along, we'll just stop, because I'm not gonna fight exploded calcite. I'm not in the mood today to try and play with it. Yeah, we'll just call it time. More of it's exploding off, so either not well preserved or just fractured prior to trying to prep it. So save my time and effort and go pick one that's hopefully a little better than that. And sorry if you hear me rummaging in the background, I've got a box of failures that I will be returned to the sea at some point. And yeah, that's all I'm doing. Right. Something a little more, hopefully, straightforward. Something that we see should be almost all the way down to the middle. Picked up because you can see the sections to the side. So it's not going to be complete. Don't pretend it's going to be. But the ribbing looked decent when I give it a tap. So we'll just see if we can just quickly knock this off and see what's what. Oh, so I'm glad to hear, Shirley, you've done some prep. I know you got your prep box done, so it's glad that you're getting some use out of it. Uh, Dremel is going to always be hard work on Saltwick material, so respect to you for working on it, and I'm glad that you've got a finish that you're happy with as a result. I would love to see it. If you're willing to share, always feel free to send me an email. Quick and dirty, there's a little bit of a middle to expose on this one, and then decisions about how much I care about the quality of the finish on it. It's not going to be pride of place in anyone's collection, I don't believe, so it's probably one of those that just do a bit of smoothing off on this, but not stress too much about it. But you know, I'm always enjoy prepping middles just because it's good practice, especially when I have one, because those of you who have watched long enough know that you don't always get middles, so it's always good to practice on the ones that you do have, even if they're not going to be the ones that are making pride of place in a collection, because one day you'll find one with a middle that will be pride of place in your collection. And so if you can do it on all the rubbish ones, you can do it on the good ones too, and that's the most important thing. Practice, 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 and eventually it'll all come good. So we'll just try and see if we can tidy the middle up, and then have a look at just trying to do a rough smooth on it. We'll probably just use chisel tips just to do the smoothing, because yeah, it's never, as I said, never going to be perfect, never going to be pride of place. Bit of an interesting deck. I did wonder if it was grey shells at first, just because the ribbing density looked a bit funky, but I don't think so. But, yeah, one of the streams one day we're going to sit down and just grab a bunch of different ammonites, and just actually have a sit down with the Twarshan book by Neil, and go through and ID things properly and try and see if we can have a fun stream with that, because yeah, there's enough variation in all of the decks that that even though I've looked at hundreds and hundreds of decks, I still would struggle to tell you between the difference between an athletic and a commune, even though I know some of it's to do with aperture size, some of it's to do with ribbing, some of it's just the location they appear in the record, but I would still struggle to do it if you just handed me two ammonites and said one's a deck athleticum and one's a commune, and spot the difference, and I would struggle. So we will do it at some point and pull out a bunch of them and do a good ID day and see how well we get on. But yeah, middle. Let me crack on with this. I'll see if I can keep it in shot, but I will apologize. I will inevitably be down the bottom of the screen here somewhere, because that's where my magnification is. So we'll see what we can do without blinding you to it all. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to get an awful lot better. It's just take a little bit of matrix out. It's probably good enough for most people. I need to, there we go, let's get it to focus. See if we can get a little bit more in that middle, but it's about as good as it's going to get with, again, with the materials I have to hand at present. And I'm hopeful that next week or so my abrasive system might arrive, that I can start trying to figure out getting it plugged in and hooked up and all of the materials sorted for it, but it'll take a little bit of time to get it up and running at a competent level before I start streaming it. Yeah, that'll do for at least the center of the prep on the ammonite. Might just put a 3mm chisel on and just do a bit of a rough smooth on the matrix and say donezo with this one. Also, bear with me, I've just been told there's been a package delivery. I will be right back. Alright, sorry about that. We are back. Yeah, it's pretty rough, but it's a good stopping point. I can get the rotary Dremel out and just smooth it down at some points if I want. Just a question of how much I can be bothered to do on something that's only going to be worth like a fiver at best anyway. So yeah, save the efforts and do something that's worth a bit more. You can always come back to these things. But I say save the effort and go to something else, and then have to decide what's that something else that I would be interested in doing might be. I'm basically slowly working through my my box of Husker bits actually, just to try and reduce the number of different boxes I have on the go. And at the minute I have 4 boxes on the floor, 1 on the desk, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 boxes on the shelves of things that need prepping. Some definitely need prepping, some probably collected at a time that they didn't, well, that in hindsight they shouldn't be collected or shouldn't have been collected, definitely don't need prepping. But yeah, now that I've got the ones I've got, I might as well prep them. We'll give this a go. I have to say I don't do an awful lot of middle lias stuff, and so this is a middle lias Shelly block out of Husker. Exactly where it's come from on that section I'm not sure, but you can see there's ammonite sections through it. The big one is this one, so it's a nice looking, well, I say nice looking, a reasonable sized pleural that's sticking out of this edge here. Hopefully not too dinged, but these blocks are full of septarian veins and all sorts of calcitic messes, and even when you get the pleuros, sometimes they are not complete anyway. So we'll have a look, see what's in this one. Just see about this, because if it can just do one single bit, prep that one, and it's done, then job's a good one, as they say. I'm not going to go chasing any of these partials, and if this one's not any good, we'll stop pretty quickly again, because life is currently feeling far too short for spending lots of hours prepping rubbish. So we'll prep some good things, hopefully. Alrighty, good to see you, Mr. Landfill. I did wonder where you were, and I wasn't sure if I had done the streaming wrong till Trevor said hello. Good to see you back. Hope you are well. And hello, Farcon. How are you doing? So, whoop, that's pretty tidy, if I say so myself. For all my concerns about how it would handle. The matrix actually was one of those that was nice and crumbly, and so as long as you just were patient with it, it all kind of fell apart. Got a bit of a decision to make about how to finish it though, and this is what I wasn't sure about, because I've got this shell sitting here and it's whether or not I want to leave the shell there or whether or not I want to take it all down and just level it off. I guess it depends a little bit on how I want it to sit. But it is just a single ammonite in the block, so whether it makes it better to just square it away and make it all look nice and flat and level, it's probably the right thing to do. But yeah, it's just a bit of a shame then you lose a little bit of the other things going on in the matrix, but I don't think that's the end of the world, because yeah, the matrix is a bit scrappy. But yeah, it's just a decision to be made, and I don't know what the right thing is to be done. That is one of the joys. But yeah, very pleased how that went down. But yeah, nice little pluro. Don't ask for these species, because what I was saying earlier, I struggle with even some of the common DACs, telling them apart, whether it's an Athleticum or Commune and all the rest. The pluro I see so few of on a regular basis that I would not be able to tell you the difference between the Hoscarens and the many other species. But yeah, just a little annoyed that one rib right there broke. But other than that, yeah, it's not bad. But yeah, then just deciding what's best to do with the matrix. This one I think will be a lot of faff to tidy this matrix up, because it's just uneven in every plane. Yeah, probably best to try and just expose this bit of keel across the back here, and then just level the rest of this matrix on this side down. So we'll spend a bit of time doing it, see how we get on, and then yeah, we'll try, being the operative word, to have a look at another one. We've got some time. So, yeah. But yeah, Mr. Landfill, sorry you had some drama and you missed the alert, but you can always catch up on them, and anyone who is here who has not been watching the videos religiously in my absence, feel free to do so. We always appreciate the extra watch hours. It does help the channel as we creep closer and closer to the 3,000, which then gives you all the basic membership things and the hypes and all the rest, whatever they actually do, and then yeah, we continue the push up to 4,000, hopefully before February. Yeah, we'll just have a look at tidying this off now then, and yeah, crack on. Yeah, I forgot to unmute myself again as I just spoke, but yeah, it's we are slowly creeping those watch hours up, slowly but surely. The last sort of, what was it, September through February last year didn't produce an awful lot of videos, like something like one every 3 weeks, and so we are not going to lose an awful lot of watch hours as YouTube starts counting the current 365 days, but the streams are definitely helping, and all of you watching, big boost. We will be doing some more fossil hunting videos as I get out on the coast again, a bit more without the tours as we head into autumn and then the winter. So there will be hopefully a lot more videos to be able to show off some more finds as well as the preps. But we'll keep doing the preps hopefully at least 3 days a week, and sneak the hunts in and around that as well. So keep us busy. I should really know better by now than to start poking around on these multi-blocks, because if you do that, you're going to run into more ammonites, and that's what I have done. Need to learn to just do the one that I know, and just accept that it's just as is. That's fine. But no, then a little teeny tiny pleural has just popped up, and I say teeny tiny. This is the key element right here. So we'll just see how much of it there is there, and whether or not it's worth worrying about. The lazy version of me just says run the leveler over it and just get rid of it. But excuse me, we'll see if we can save it. I have to say, I do not know what the plural of, or at least the group plural for even squid is. Shoal? School? Pod? I don't know. And I would say there shouldn't be one for ammonites, but there's probably one for, if there's one for squid, there's probably one for cuttlefish and possibly nautiluses, and presumably you would have the same for ammonites, but I don't know. There's one for you to have a quick play with, Mr. Landfill, if you're not still rammed with craziness at work. So pod is the unofficial official one. Uh, so yeah, it's my chat has decided. I did wonder if you didn't go bold enough with coming up with something completely and utterly bonkers and different, and I have no idea what else I'd pick, but yeah. Yeah, so for those who, like Shirley, listen in to the chat and you hear me talk about ammonites and nautiloids and stuff, it's basically just a higher grouping. So not all, well, all ammonites are ammonoids, but not all ammonoids are ammonites. So there are other things within the ammonoid family that are not ammonites, and similarly there are other things within the nautiloid family that are not just nautiluses. And it's basically just a large family name for things that include the things that we tend to think of. That's the simplest way to describe it. So yeah, we have similar things for hominoids or hominids as well, depending on exactly which level you want to look at within like the human family tree. And so we are part of that, but we are not the only thing of that. There's a lot more things that are parts of that family. And a lot of them will be extinct things. So yeah, it gets a bit wonky when you start looking at them, but that's generally the way that people are referring to things. If you hear them talk about ammonoids or nautiloids in particular, is the more common one. Says people don't tend to, or at least I say people, you will often see nautiloids as the common usage for the various species found around the UK that are Jurassic. And I have to say, I call them nautiluses. I'm not actually sure if they are true nautiluses or if they are just more broadly part of the nautiloid family. I would have to check, and it's all based on the family trees and how they get grouped. And there's often somewhat arbitrary lines where people are defining the groups and the subgroupings. And it's just whoever gets to it first who decides that this little group has a new name, that's who gets to name it. But you have to have evidence. You can't just say this little group I decide is insert name here. Yeah, there has to be sort of some formal relationship that you can map out to then say this group is called this. Alright. Oh, little one, pretty much done. Mostly there. The more annoying thing is that there is another damn ammonite. It's whether that's complete. But that looks, as far as I can tell, is one of the spines, the equivalent of one of these outer spines. So that then whirls underneath this way. And so I now need to go chase this one and figure out where this one goes and whether that's a complete one or a partial. But there are problems to have, and don't get me wrong, it's nice to have a problem that I might have too many ammonites, but at the same time, it'd be nice to not have to keep chasing new ammonites. It'd be nice to be like, these are the ones that we know of, and these are the ones that there are. But yeah, we'll chase this one and just figure out where it goes, because this should whirl in and around pretty much this area here. And yeah, I'm not sure if any of this here is associated with it or if this is separate, but we'll have to have a look, see. And I missed David before heading into work, so I don't know if he's still here, but ciao, and if he comes back later, I'll hope he had a good day. But yeah, we'll go chase this other ammonite and see where it goes. I'm going to guess these are all dyed at the same time or near the same time to be grouped together like this. I'm not sure what the lias deposits, the middle lias deposits are. The fact that we have a jumble of old things together suggests possibly near shore or stormy sort of events to end up with them all grouped. That you have ammonites, as you saw here and here, another one underneath, various shells. I suspect it's far more likely that you're looking at something relatively near shore and just getting washed around, so you jumble all the things together. Kind of like if you were to either go to the beach or go swimming just off the beach into something reasonably shallow, you could swim around and you'd see a bunch of different seashells all washed together. I suspect that is likely the case, at least for the middle lias stuff. The upper layer stuff, I have suspicions it's far more likely that you're getting die-off events for certain things, because the waters are, or appear to be deeper, or at least have a change in the environment, because we get a lot more what is it, iron pyrite, and iron pyrite only forms when you've got anoxia, so a lack of oxygen, and so usually that's only found in deeper water, or at least water that's not turning over, and so you get oxygen in the shallow waters, and then as soon as you get to a sufficient depth, there's a lot less oxygen down there, and so basically if you're dying, you're settling there, nothing's walking around on you, you've got no things like starfish wandering around and eating them, and so chances are when you get a bunch of things all in the same layer in that, it's probably a mass die-off event of something happening, or a washing in of a bunch of things simultaneously in a single event. But we don't seem to get big clusters of ammonites of multiple species very often in the upper lias until you get to like the gramo levels or near gramo levels, and we know at that point the basins are getting shallower, because we start getting more and more sand coming in again, which it tends to be closer to shore. So yeah, I suspect, but I don't have a definitive answer. I'm sure some of the geologists who have studied it will give you a better answer, but just from my limited geology, That's my suspicion, is that we're playing in not super deep water, but at least water that's turning around and we've got stuff moving around within it. Without diving too deeply onto it, I think it's just a single bit of a broken whorl, but that's what I was just trying to figure out exactly its orientation, because these spikes and spines kind of look the same whether you're coming at them from this side or from this side, especially if all you can see is a single spike. And that's what I'm just wondering, because I originally thought it whirled this way, but I'm no longer convinced it does. I'm wondering if it actually whirls oddly, kind of that way around, and it's diving the other way, and so we're looking at it from kind of along the keel, and so you're just seeing a little spike sticking out, and then the keel's next to it. And I just don't know. That's kind of the problem with it. I think it's incomplete, whatever it is. But we've also got the fun quirk that, if you haven't noticed or haven't seen, this is not the actual shell of the ammonite. The shell of the ammonite only appears when it's only saved in a few places. Most of it is sort of the infill and the steinkern, and you can see the shell here, but once you get underneath it, it's really smooth, and that tends to make prepping easier once you get the shell off. But it's a bit of a faff. Yeah, I mean, we were smoothed down to at least a rough level of it. You got a little one there, big one there. Decisions about what I want to do with this, and some of this is shells, some of it is minerals, and I just don't know. I mean, obviously it would make sense just to flatten a lot, but I don't know if it adds, if it doesn't. The problem is, if I take them out, we can end up dropping this whole lot by, again, even more, and yeah, I don't know. I'm basically deciding how lazy I'm going to be, is the long and the short of it. And also how much I want to be really careful, because if I knock this out, we could end up with this not being fully supported. So it's just deciding whether or not I think this shell adds enough interest, whether I think this shells and this shell crystal combo here adds enough to keep it. And the answer is honestly probably not, but I'm also being lazy. So it's just a decision I'm trying to make now. Yeah, I'll probably remove it. But I'm not happy about it, but I'm going to remove it because I think it'll make me happier. Hopefully. And that's my vibe today. What makes me happy? And we're going to do that. Yeah, so all of the grinding bits that you'll see are, or all of the bits you'll see are diamond coated, or at least supposed to be. They do wear out. They are not the embedded burrs, but they are diamond coated, so they will grind. Sort of. It's also worth noting, a little bit will depend how smooth I want to get this, whether I want it to be a completely flat surface or if it's just a nice sort of, I won't say natural, but sort of rounded, flowing surface, which, I mean, probably not the best way to do it, but at the same time, with the amount of variation, it's a good question. I don't know about whether normal Dremel bits work with the air-powered ones. My suspicion is it will depend an awful lot on the air-powered. It's more the bit thickness of the shaft that you're putting them in. I know a lot of the dental bits are much smaller, but I can't say for all of the air-powered ones what size bit they're running, which makes the big difference rather than anything else. And do normal Dremel bits work? Yeah, say so. These are ones off Amazon. Dremel, as far as I'm aware, don't make diamond coated bits, or at least not in the diversity and shape variation you get or need for prepping. I know eBay and Amazon and all the rest produce or have a bunch of different ones that everyone has produced, and there are, I think there's even carbide tips as well. But they all just will depend on what you're doing and where you're looking and what you're after, and how much you're willing to spend. That seems to be the biggest limiting factor, is price. So the ones I've got are, I think they were like 20 or 30 quid for the lot, and they've got like 3 of each of the different variants. So here, let me just get all of them out. So, for example, I bought a fairly simple selection of them. That's most of the standard shapes and sizes you're likely to run into. The ball ones tend to be useful for doing things like mouth borders, and then you've got different flat ones, etc., etc. But I know a lot of the preparators have a much greater diversity of them and have a lot more variation. So all of mine are roughly the same level of coarseness or fineness, depending on how you want to look at it, for the bit, the particles, the diamond particles that are on the bits. You can get them that are a lot rougher, so they will do more abrading, but then you have to then remove the marks that those leave. I, again, just haven't bought more diversity. It would be very useful to have some that were a bit more coarse, so that the first pass you basically remove more material and then you're just smoothing it off, whereas at the minute I kind of have to do it with the pens. I use the chisel tips to then do that sort of first general roughing pass, and then I could use another one just to smooth it down further, and then another, kind of how you polish things in general. And I'm sure there are others who would have a better way of doing it, but as I say, that's what I'm working with the tools I have. As in, if you're keen, surely, like, literally, those just came off Amazon and they weren't very expensive, so they're easy enough to get hold of. The Dremel itself, keep an eye out. They do go on special and on discount if that's what you want. They may not be the best choice of tools, but I have not had too many complaints about mine. Once I figured out how to get it all set up properly, it works a treat. And I know, Dremel just had a fairly good discount that you could get the one that I have for like half the price that I paid for it. So just keep an eye out for them. And I'm sure Black Friday discounts and things like that come into effect for them. I will also say that if you are in the market for it, do have a look at both. Zoic have their dental grinder, but I know DN Sons, which is the other, I want to say, fairly large paleo tool creator in the UK. It might be a bit unfair or overly kind to them. I'm not sure which way that would go. But they have a 45-degree one and a standard dental drill that I believe are both cheaper than the Zoic ones. And I think they come with quite a few more tips, but again, double check. But I think you can just look them up at, like, I think they're DN Sons tools or something like that. And you can have a look, see, and I think they're like 189-ish pounds for their dental tools, whereas I think Zoics are like 200 and something. But do double check and do your own research. I cannot confirm nor deny any of them being better or worse because I do not have any of them. Yeah, I have absolutely no doubt with Landfill there are a diversity of tools. Some will be far more precise and possibly a lot better. I imagine they may also cost a lot more to do it. Um, so yeah, all I can say is what I've got is I use the Dremel. I use the bits off. These ones are off Amazon. They work not perfectly, but reasonably well to achieve the sort of generally smooth finish. There's a bit that still needs smoothing, and that's partly me just deciding exactly what I'm doing with this little bit of shell in the middle, this little bit of ammonite, and also this just general, just finishing off with things. Excuse me, also just give this another quick burst of air because it's collected all the dust at the back of it. So yeah, it's just some finishing around of all of it. It's pretty close to done. It's one of those that, again, I suspect if I had a saw, you'd probably want to just take most of the back end of this off and just make it a much smaller piece there and across the bottom, and it would sit quite nicely. But do not have a saw, so we just have what it is, and people can always do that down the line. Easier to leave it a bit to do than the other way around, in case people have different opinions, because you can always remove more rock. You can't easily put more rock back on. Well, it's not going to win any prizes for the level of finishing, just because my matrix is a nice wibbly wobbly, uneven surface, but I can't say I want to spend another hour trying to make it all level and flat, so it's going to be wibbly wobbly, but a couple of little pleuros, partial little one in the middle. It will do. And sits quite nicely, which is nice. But yeah, it's one of those that I think it'll look a little nicer when it's being rinsed down and all the dust has come off and all the rest. But yeah, it still probably does need a proper smoothing down to get it level or near level. But at the same time, I say that knowing that if I do too much to it, you end up running the risk that that ammonite may pop, and it's because it is on a nice angle there, but it's all supported at the back. So yeah, I don't know. It's one of those that definitely, this back bit definitely needs leveling, but I don't know how much it matters or how much it's going to make any difference for the amount of extra hours it will take to do. And I know that is a lazy approach to it, but at the same time it's a pragmatic approach at the minute. It is good enough, and yeah, I am happy enough with it, which is, I guess, the important thing. Alright, what else do we have? Oh yeah, there's a teeny tiny amalfiid in this as well. I will just see what's in it just quickly, whilst I've got a little tiny chisel on this pen. I don't know why I collected it. I think it's because I have very few Amaltheus at the time, and picked up a lot of scrappy bits. So yeah, we'll just pop this one and then see where we're at. There you go, scrappy little amaltheid, I believe. Again, I am not great with the different species. It's an ongoing quest, but this one has exploded and squished, and the middle is gone, but it's also tiny, as you can see by the fact it's thumbnail sized. So, cute little thing, but not fabulous, not worth my additional time to try and rescue whatever there may be of it, but I think that's about as good as it would get. What else do we have in these boxes? Well, just keep rocking through this box of random things. So, little LE block. Some reasonable nice colour on some of these bits. Bit of blues and stuff, although always a bit wary with pyrite when you see colour, just that it's not it starting to rot, which is often a concern and always a very real possibility. So yeah, we'll do this one because it's here. See if we can get this bit off, pop middle of that one, and that one, and yeah, and see where we're at. Hello. Sorry, minor distraction. The little man is... Ah! Yeah, that's you. Yeah, he's feeling better, which is nice. Hey? Good. Hey, let Daddy finish prepping and then we'll have some fun. Sorry, just realised didn't transition the camera, but little man is here. He's feeling much better, thankfully. Aren't you? Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we'll get him prepping as soon as he's able to. We'll get him out of here now so I can get back to it. sorry, just take it. It's probably not a good sign that you can pull a rock apart with your hands. It's a little concerning, actually. Just the more I look at it, the more I wonder if it's got pyrite rot already, which is not great. But there's just a level of white, like fuzz. I mean, it's not even fuzz. It's just white on the pyrite, which always is a bit dangerous. I haven't done a fabulous job on these, but there's 3 little LEs. That one's got a shell or something in the middle. That one's just a bit scrappy. But they would look alright as a little trio for a few quid again. But we'll need to have a bit of a look, see if that's actually rotting, because yeah, the amount that that's just crumbled is concerning. And the fact that I could do it with my hands, just, yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Some of it inevitable is that the fact that things that go in the salt water, when it comes to pyrite, they tend to not do well long term. And that was rattling around in the water for a fair old while based on the colour of it, but yeah, we'll see. Keep it away from the other things. But if you're not familiar with Andreas, what is his last name? Andreas Schmidt. He's at andysfossils.com, I think it is. He's got a blog about fossils from the Yorkshire coast. It's like a fabulous resource, actually. And he's got in it, if you Google the Andy's fossils eleganticeros, he's got a nice thing on the Ellies. And the eleganticeros nodules are so rich in pyrite, they tend to catch pyrite rot when they've been rolling around for a while, and he's got a few of his showing pyrite rot in the images, and it's just a par for the course, unfortunately. And so it's why we always recommend giving them a good soak when you get home. Get salt out if you can, but sometimes when they've started to go, there is nothing you can do until you get something like pyrite stops, an actual chemical treatment to try and stop it, and even then there's no guarantee. It's just, you're trying to limit something that's already underway, and it's self-perpetuating, because you then, as the iron pyrite breaks down, it produces sulfuric acid, which then continues the cycle. But yeah, hey right, what did we do today? That is a good question. We found a crummy DAC and threw that away. We did some pleuros, alright. A few Ellies there, yeah, alright. And then I did something else that was that it? Oh, there was a little DAC, wasn't there? Yeah, that needed a little bit of a grind. So we've done a bit of a diversity today, all from the walks that in fact I think all of these were probably over the span of a couple of trips at Holsker. There was also a fairly rubbish little Amaltheus as well. So proper diversity of middle lias and upper lias bits, just to keep it interesting today. But I think we will be winding down now. But the big plan, for those of you who missed the beginning, I'm looking at you, Mr. Landfill in particular, is that next week we will start having a look at this. And this is a bone block, also from Holsker, and it's this that is the most interesting looking thing. And as I said at the beginning, paired structures tend to be indicative of something from the midline of the body. So when I say the midline, I'm talking head, spine, pelvis, and shoulder girdles basically are the midline, but shoulder girdle, like shoulders tend to not be fused in most things that we work with. So yeah, we're looking probably head or spine related, and it doesn't look very spiny, so we're looking head, hopefully. I don't want to jinx it. The hope is it looks a little bit like a rostrum. Maybe it's going to have some teeth in it, but we will see. We'll give it a bit of a prep. I haven't prepped bone in a long time, so we're going to be doing it very slow, and that's the plan for all of next week, is to be doing one very slow and steady bone block, and hope that it's well preserved, hope that it's exciting, hope that it's not beyond my skill level, because if it is a bunch of teeth in here, I will be stopping fairly rapidly, because I will not want to mess up my first rostrum of something. So yeah, that's what we got to look forward to next week. So a good incentive to double check that you are subscribed, that you've pressed the bell button on the channel to make sure you get notifications that we are live. And yeah, that is the plan for next week. Barring, of course, any new illnesses in my little plague monkey that is my son, and yeah, I don't have any drop frames on my side, Mr. Landfill, so hopefully it's just your side. But yeah, be safe, everyone. I hope you all have a fabulous weekend. I hope you are enjoying the sunshine if you have it, or the rain, even more so in the UK if you're having it. Oh yeah, one final thing. If you haven't yet, give the video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. It always helps. And yeah, big thank you for everyone being out, and we will catch you all hopefully next week. Cheers all.